January just ended, and so did my self-imposed task of posting a video every day for the month. I successfully uploaded a total of 30 videos and 31 with this wrap-up commentary style, which I want to use to talk a bit about my YouTube channel life. Starting with the reason to post this much content in one go. The main reason is simple: I have way too much of it. Most of it were team hunting guides, but even that is still behind of my current level in the game. The last video of January was with us at level 380, and I am currently 300 levels higher than that, so you can imagine that there is still content to be made from that range of levels. It's not gonna be nearly as many because the alternatives do start to quiet down as you get more levels, but still, that's just the first part of it. I still have all the recordings of my solo sorcerer project in a new server, which I did upload in the form of a blog, just like I'm doing with our team progression, but I still haven't made the dedicated guides for this. I also had content for my old main EK, and another new server project I did with a paladin, and that is just hunting guides to be made. But there is also other projects I want to follow, like the Tibia one-on-one series, opinion-based videos, boss guides, and other ideas I got. And having that many things to do is very overwhelming. It has been my biggest enemy for this channel, which I started on May 8th of 2017. Roughly 7 years ago was my first video, and since then I have over 250 on the channel. And all began when I started playing with the release of Noctera, the first Green Battle Eye servers. And at the time, the content in YouTube was lacking. There was Eric Psychic, which did make good content, but it was also not very helpful to me, since the characters he was using were often high skills and that wasn't possible in a brand new server. Not to mention his content was mostly for mages and I was a paladin, so I decided to start posting my own content, regardless if I was any good. I wanted to share the spawns I was hunting myself as I progressed through the game. However, that's the key part. I was also playing the game and very actively at that. My first video was of me at level 30, and I think at the time I probably was already level 60 or so. By the time I posted one where I was level 100, I probably was over 200 in game, and this kept going until I hit my first hiatus of about 4 months. During that time, I didn't stop leveling, I just wasn't uploading content, so my recordings kept on piling up, and I would often get demotivated just by looking at it, always getting overwhelmed at the thought of having to make that many videos. So I continued the channel on and off based on my own feelings about it at the time, basically not doing much content during 2018 and pretty active throughout 2019 to 2020, where I once again took a break from the channel, because besides having content pile up, I also ran into a more realistic problem with active games. The content will become less relevant once major changes are made in the game. Some of you might have seen some of my old videos, where I will be saying as a disclaimer that this video was before the introduction of quick loot or rapid spawn or stuff like that, and it's because I was and still kinda am trying to keep a linear progression of the videos. If I posted a hunting spawn for level 100, then in my mind the next video should be around the same range. Same goes with bosses. If I started explaining the Ferumbra's Ascension quest, then I need to finish it. So I was constantly trying to still make use of all recordings in a useful way, because there is also the fact that in case of hunting guys, if I go to a spawn 5 months ago when I was level 100, I shouldn't make a video about it with a level 200 just because it's a more recent recording, but I also can't go back to being a level 100. I'm way past that point by then, and that is what will put me back to the same spot. So that was one of the biggest reasons to not being consistent. Another one that I can't deny is monetization. I started this as a passion hobby, and at the time, I thought and I think it wasn't possible to monetize a YouTube channel from my home country, Venezuela. I remember researching about it, and it wasn't possible because Google didn't operate in the country, and that was a requirement back then. So all my videos were made out of passion and as a hobby, with no goals of making any returns from it, and that changed recently. My very first paycheck from YouTube came in early 2022, when things had changed and more options were available that made it possible to enter the partner program while living in Venezuela. And that changed things massively for me. It was a huge boost of motivation that made 2022 my most productive year in terms of video uploads, and I was looking forward to keep it going. Sadly, it came to a stop in November when my dad got sick and I put everything on hold to take care of him. And with his unfortunate passing, I just couldn't find it in me to do anything but immerse myself into something else. And that's how I started on Metera, with my friends that were my last thing of my main character. Starting on a new server was a great distraction to keep me busy, and since I have always had the mindset of recording my progression, even if it is something that I might never upload, I ended up with a lot of content, once again, to add on top of what I already have. I've been trying to be consistent with uploads since then, and I do hope to continue doing so in the future. Perhaps not daily uploads, but I am leaning towards daily uploads for the first week of the month for now, and after that 2 or 3 a week, depending on the types of videos. As long as the game remains alive and I have people to play it with, then I will continue to play it and also make content about it. So in an attempt of trying to decrease my backlog of recordings, I do plan on uploading more often, even if they are videos that are not gonna do well in views. So if possible, please check them out, and thank you for doing so with my content so far. If you listen through all of this, I'm very grateful for that alone. And to end this, a special thanks to Tuna Hero, Night Star, Dor the Slasher, Elber, Drunken Watson, and Pachigu for going out of your way to sending me donations in the form of Tibia coins. This is something that I started adding so early on into my videos, back when I wasn't gonna be able to monetize the videos at all, and it went on for a long time until my very first donation came through, from the series of starting a mage from zero, and I'm still thankful to this day. That was another big boost of motivation to make more videos. So with that said, I hope to continue making even more. Thank you, and until the next one.